We're learning new details about a shooting that left a teenage student dead in Baton Rouge yesterday evening. Welcome to 9 News at 5:30. I'm Liam Combs. EBR Schools says 17-year-old Amari Walker, the victim in a deadly shooting yesterday evening, was a student at Northdale Academy. Baton Rouge police say they found Walker dead yesterday around 5 on Wood Street. A second victim was hurt but is expected to survive. We're told both were seated inside a vehicle in the driveway when the shooting happened. This investigation is ongoing.
On January 10, 2026, Baton Rouge, Louisiana became the scene of a fatal afternoon shooting on Wood Street, where 17-year-old Amari Walker was found dead inside a parked vehicle after sustaining gunshot wounds, while a second occupant survived with non-life-threatening injuries. Law enforcement sources confirmed that officers were dispatched just before 5 p.m. to investigate reports of gunfire. The young victim was pronounced dead at the scene, and the injured adult was taken to a hospital. The Baton Rouge Police Department Violent Crimes Unit immediately launched an investigation appealing to the public for information and anonymous tips to help identify suspects and establish a motive. Initial reports reveal no arrests or clear leads as of now, placing the case squarely in the hands of investigators amid rising citywide gun violence. Every case starts with evidence and ends with truth. We examine facts, not theories, details, not drama. This is Sunday Crime, where investigations speak for themselves. Subscribe now and stay updated as we uncover the facts behind every case. Amari Walker was 17 years old at the time of the incident. According to law enforcement and public records, Walker and the injured adult were together in the vehicle when gunfire was reported. Police said both were seated inside the car in the driveway of a residence on Wood Street when shots were fired. Officers arriving on the scene found Walker suffering from gunshot wounds and pronounced her dead at the location. The identification of Walker was confirmed by BRPD officials responding to the scene. Walker's exact personal history prior to the shooting, such as school enrollment status or family background, has not been widely detailed in official police releases. However, local education officials referenced her as a student at Northdale Academy within the East Baton Rouge Parish school system, noting her connection to the public school system. At the time of reporting, investigators confirmed that the investigation remains active, with detectives from the Violent Crimes Unit conducting follow-up work. The BRPD's public information announcements asked for anyone with information to contact the department or provide anonymous tips through Capital Region Crime Stoppers. The shooting occurred in the driveway of a Wood Street residence. Law enforcement reports describe the scene as a residential area with Wood Street intersecting local neighborhood blocks. Officers responding to the call encountered both victims inside a parked vehicle. Walker was unresponsive and was subsequently pronounced dead. The second victim was alive and transported to a hospital with injuries that were not immediately life-threatening, according to police statements. The presence of gunshot wounds in both victims suggest multiple rounds were fired into the vehicle, though specific ballistic details, such as the number of shots, weapon types, or trajectories, have not been publicly released by authorities. At the time of initial reports, police did not confirm whether shell casings or other physical evidence were collected, nor did they immediately disclose findings from the forensic processing at the scene. Police cordoned off the scene, established a perimeter, and canvassed surrounding residences for surveillance footage and witness accounts. Detectives were observed collecting evidence and documenting the scene with photographs. Official release statements emphasized that the case was still under active investigation without naming any suspects or persons of interest at that time. Within the first 24 hours of the incident, detectives prioritized scene processing and urgent lead development. Officers conducted neighborhood canvasses, spoke with potential witnesses, and reviewed any available nearby video surveillance. As of reporting, investigators had not announced any arrests connected to the shooting. No public suspect identifications or warrants had been issued within the first days following the incident. Police continued to appeal to the community for information that could assist with motive identification and suspect location efforts. BRPD issued statements underscoring the ongoing nature of the investigation. Detectives asked anyone with information to contact the department's Violent Crimes Unit, providing direct phone contact and the option of anonymous tips to Crime Stoppers. Authorities did not specify whether the shooting was believed to involve known parties or if it was random. There were no public reports of formal persons of interest named by law enforcement in the days immediately following the incident. Motive and suspect identity remain primary investigatory targets. Police indicated that information from the public and further forensic analysis were critical for advancing the case. The Wood Street shooting did not occur in isolation. Law enforcement data from early January 2026 show that multiple shootings occurred in Baton Rouge over the same weekend. These separate incidents included other individuals being shot and either injured or killed in different parts of the city, indicating a pattern of gun violence over several days. Across that period, authorities reported several shootings resulting in casualties, including at least a half-dozen fatalities and multiple injuries, according to local news reporting. City law enforcement officials noted that despite a reported drop in overall crime trends during the previous year, early 2026 began with a surge in gun violence incidents. The Wood Street shooting was among the incidents that contributed to this trend, prompting statements from local advocates and community leaders about public safety conditions and crime levels. Law enforcement has not publicly confirmed a motive for the Wood Street shooting. No immediate evidence linking the incident to specific disputes, personal conflicts, or gang activity was released in police bulletins during the early stages of the investigation. The absence of a declared motive means investigators continued to pursue multiple lines of inquiry, including potential connections between the victims and any individuals or groups known to law enforcement. As of the latest available reporting, the case remains open and active. No arrests, charges, or public suspect identifications have been documented in official releases. Detectives from the BRPD Violent Crimes Unit maintain jurisdiction over follow-up investigations, evidence analysis, and community outreach for tips. Public safety officials emphasized that any arrests or formal charges would be communicated through official police channels once sufficient evidence was obtained. The legal process from arrest through potential prosecution depends on the development of forensic evidence, credible witness testimony, and investigatory breakthroughs. The Baton Rouge Police Department continues to solicit information from the public to assist in identifying suspects or motives. No further updates on arrests or charges have been released since initial reporting. Detectives highlighted the importance of community participation in advancing the case, indicating that even small pieces of information could prove instrumental. Police maintain operational procedures for evidence review, forensic processing, and tip evaluation. Public communication channels with Crime Stoppers and direct BRPD contact points remain active for those with relevant information. Facts verified. Case concluded. Justice is found in what remains proven. This is Sunday Crime until the next investigation. Subscribe for more verified stories and real criminal investigations.